A gracious good morning to you. It is the 16th day of the year 2023 and we are so delighted being on your screens this morning. This is Prime Flash coming to you live from My Media Prime Television and I am Dolly Ngonde on the anchor. We begin the news this morning on a sad note as of course, the Black series continues for Cameroonian singer-artists following the death of Jean-Paul Zeybela from the Zangalewa group. The founder and leader of the group of the famous hit song Zamina Mina is said to have died from lung cancer and was 71 years old when he died. Meanwhile, it should be recalled it was thanks to their hit song Zamina Mina that Shakira was able to come up with the 2010 of course FIFA World Cup theme song. Away from that, let's talk something of human interest where a local chief and his son as well as 4 other natives are reported to have been killed in an attack allegedly orchestrated by herdsmen in Munkep, a village in the Menchum division in the northwest region of Cameroon. This attack adds up to several others which have been recurrent recently, as we get details in the next report coming up with Naivona.
The traditional ruler, whose name we got as Chief Matthias Chi Ewe, alongside his son and at least 4 other civilians, were victims of an attack that costed their lives on January 12, 2023. The attack was initiated by suspected Fulani herdsmen in Munkep, a locality in Fungop subdivision, Menchum division of the restive northwest region. According to local sources, the attack was as a result of intertribal conflict which stemmed from a land dispute over a piece of land in the said locality. Reports also reveal the herdsmen in question came from a locality that borders Cameroon and Nigeria, with the dispute also geared towards enforcing their religion on locals of the area. The attack, which led to loss of several lives, also resulted in the destruction of crops on farmlands and the destruction of several houses in the said community. It should be noted farmer-grazier problem has been an age-long issue across several communities within and beyond a national frontiers, and Menchum in particular has witnessed several of such cases, with the most pertinent being one of which saw the killing of the traditional ruler of Isu, his wife, and other members of his entourage by unknown gunmen.
Welcome back. And in the same light, the just ended week, of course, was greatly characterized with so much crime stories and incidents, and we are putting, of course, our eyes on the stories, revisiting how they occurred as we get the following in this report.
On Monday, January 9th, 2023, the week began on a sad note with a viral flow of information concerning the death of this sergeant belonging to the Cameroonian Defense Corps. Bita Jacks died in Yaoundé after being shot by a bullet in the head. According to sources, he was shot by a yet-to-be-disclosed lieutenant who is said to have been cleaning his well-loaded gun, which unfortunately fired at the sergeant as hopes for recovery were dashed before the victim was declared dead. Away from that, Police Divisional Commissioner Babangida Amadou was also arrested on charges of drug trafficking. The commissioner, who was appointed in April of 2021 to work at the Douala International Airport, was arrested alongside a police inspector and kept out the Yaoundé Mobile Intervention Unit, the GEMI, before being deferred. Meanwhile, an unexplainable fire incident also occurred in Kolandam in Bolova, which brought down 2 apartments within minutes, as the helpless neighbors and sympathizers did watch the scene thus. And then, the owner of La Doyenne restaurant in France was also discovered dead in her Douala-based apartment. Celine, who was a Cameroonian living in Paris, France, and according to media reports, she had arrived Cameroon earlier this year for the festive season. Friends and sympathizers say she was spotted in a snack bar making merry with friends on the eve of her demise. However, while investigations are ongoing to ascertain the actual cause of her death, this could only serve as a lead to the root. Now, the height of it came when this teenager was arrested.
Many of those stories characterized, of course, last week, and we are only calling on the forces of law and order to intensify the level of security in the country. And now, on to this information of general interest. The President of the Republic of Cameroon, His Excellency President Paul Biya, has signed a decree launching a military mission at Cameroon's embassy in Algeria. Now, in getting more details, Eileen Sama will tell us exactly what this mission is up to.
Article 1 of the decree signed by the Head of State, Supreme Head of Cameroon's Armed Forces on January 13, 2023, states that a military mission with area of jurisdiction covering the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, the Kingdom of Spain, and the Portuguese Republic is thus set up at the embassies of Cameroon in the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria and the Kingdom of Spain. Article 2 of President Paul Biya's decree, signed on January 13, 2023, highlights that the military mission shall be resident in Algiers, capital city of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria. While in Article 3, it is stated that this decree, which repeals all previous provisions repugnant hereto, shall be registered, published according to the procedure of urgency, and inserted in the official gazette in English and French. Note here that all these articles are in line with Cameroon's penal code relating to the general organization of the Ministry of Defense and its central headquarters. For the record, the Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of Defense, Joseph Betia Somo, had an official visit to Algeria on July 31, 2022 to finalize the details of this military cooperation between Cameroon and Algeria, which has now materialized in January 2023.
You are watching the 9:30 a.m. Prime Flash, coming to you live from My Media Prime Television. And now an undercover factory producing dubious quality wines, liquor, and also spirits has been dismantled in Tamnjong, a locality in the West region of Cameroon. The operation, which was carried out over the weekend, was led by Sadu Umaro, head of the Western Regional Customs Sector, in collaboration with local authorities. And still in line with developmental news, according to a press release published on the official website of the United Nations, the UN Emergency Relief Coordinator Martin Griffiths has announced the allocation of $6 million in a bid to aid Cameroon's Central Emergency Response Fund, the CERF. In this light, the humanitarian coordinator in Cameroon, Matthias Zanap, has said that this allocation will support many who are especially in need in the far north region, northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon through protection and rehabilitation services. Let's now talk news out of the country, taking you straight into Nigeria, where artwork is, of course, generated by artificial intelligence, AI, and has become a source of controversy. But Nigerian filmmaker and artist Malik Afegwa is making a case that it can challenge us to create a better real world and a more stylish one for older people. At first glance, his images look like they were snapped on the edge of a fashion runway, but these models are not actually real people. That's good news there. And moving on to Burkina Faso, we hear that some 50 women have been abducted by a suspected jihadist group in northern Burkina Faso. Of course, as residents in Abinda say, 2 groups of women were taken as they were out gathering leaves and wild fruits because of the severe food shortage happening there. Meanwhile, a small number managed to escape and raise the alarm. The abduction happened since on Thursday, but news has only emerged now given the area has been blocked by the Islamist militants. Moving over to the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo's government has blamed the Islamic State group affiliated rebels for a bomb attack at a Pentecostal church in Kinsindi, east of the country. At least 10 people were killed as churchgoers attended the Sunday service of yesterday. Meanwhile, some 39 others were wounded as the Congolese military has described it as a terrorist act by Allied Democratic Forces, the ADF of the DRC. And now we still talk world news, where at least 69 persons have been killed in Nepal's worst airplane crash in 30 years. This occurred yesterday when an aircraft went down near the city of Pokhara in central Nepal. 72 people making up the incident, 4 crew members and 68 passengers were on board when this occurred. 37 were men, 25 women, 3 children and 3 infants have all been victims of the Sunday incident. Now we give you updates on the Ukraine-Russia war, where the death toll continues to rise above 30 following a Russian missile that struck an apartment block in Dnipro in Ukraine. At least 73 people were injured in the attack, which 30 of them are still in the hospital struggling for recovery. Meanwhile, 12 amongst the injured are also in a very critical condition in the nearby hospitals. And that does it for today's edition of Prime Flash. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Dolly Ngonde for presentation. The news was produced by Elvis Modika. Coming up at exactly 10 a.m. is the brief with Lasha Kingsley. 11 o'clock in the house comes up next, and many more programs will be yours if you decide to stay tuned with us for the rest of the day. Goodbye for now.